Hello and welcome to Real Hi-Fi Help. So this is about the product that's missing in hi-fi audio. I think that we need a product which is basically invisible walls made out of plastic that you can quickly fold out like an umbrella and then put back again. Let me just quickly show you guys what it is that I mean. This is my room here, and temporarily I just created this temporary wall here, which makes a huge difference. Basically cuts a room from almost 50 square meters into about 25. And I feel that if we can do this, we can take one room and turn it into almost as if you put the entire audio system into a second room, create a totally different sound without having to buy any equipment. So I feel that once I did this, it made the sound a lot more pleasant, a lot more well-timed, musical, and rich in sound, and it was a lot more like being in a sauna and then having all of this warm, heaty. I wouldn't call it heaty, but almost like waves massaging your body a bit, where you just feel the music a lot more. Whereas when you have a big room, what usually happens is that the big size of the room kind of deflates the sound, so you lose the pressure, you lose the timing, and you then end up having to boost the sound somehow, having to buy some fake cables that color the sound, and you have to start looking at certain types of gear that can fill that room up, and then I think you'll not go into the really good sound. I think you'll typically go into the sound that's less good. So yeah, for really big rooms or small rooms or just normal rooms where you have a hard surface behind you, I feel that just having this plastic solution, which is cheap, could help a lot on solving problems like that. And even for rooms like this, we don't have to have this on the wall here and over there. We could possibly have like a temporary plastic wall that just folds out like this, whoosh, whoosh, up there, and then like when the wife comes home, like press a button and then it falls back. So she can't criticize it, for example. Or behind here, instead of having these hard surfaces, perhaps you could put it on the side temporarily, and then have like a blind that kind of folds back automatically. It's just ideas that I have for perhaps if you're stuck with a certain room, stuck with a certain setup, and you can't do anything about the sound. I think that could possibly solve a lot of problems for you. Doesn't look good, but you could also turn it into like I don't know. It could be an invisible wall that you just temporarily take out of a closet, and then you put it up to the side of the speaker or up behind you or whatever. It's kind of interesting trying it, and I feel that like with a room like this one here, the system could be to the right over here, and then it would be cool to have some kind of a product behind the sofa where you can press a button and it's just like a transformer, going up in towards the wall, just securing this whole area, making it basically half as big, the sound, so you don't get this huge suck out of energy, because having to time that all the way from this wall to that wall can be a bit difficult, especially if you have small speakers. So an interesting idea. I just thought that if a company would invent a product like that, that would be cool. And also look at this room here, just really beautiful. I would like to have a room similar to this, just because of all these wooden surfaces. I think that if you have wooden surfaces all over the place, and then a carpet underneath, I feel that that's like one of the ideal rooms that you can get. and yeah, that would be really cool having a sound set up in this room. And yeah, you can buy them in like green, blue color, see-through, these vapor barriers as they're called in the US, or dampsprayer in Danish. They don't cost too much. I think they're only like $25 for a roll. And you know, this is the normal use for them. You know, these are the walls being insulated behind our drywalls typically, and then you use this material, vapor barrier. And I think you can get them in some kind of a hardware store probably. But yeah, it's not pretty, but you can make it happen somehow so it becomes a lot more pretty. I tried doing it on the floor. Yeah, it did make a difference. Not a giant difference, but interesting, you know, kind of interesting. Yeah, ugly and impractical, you could say that. But then when we get into the, you can't really see it on here. I think it's on the floor here again. But then I tried this, that's down here, you know. Let me just read it up for you guys. This made a huge difference, going from what sounded like a 50 square meter room to something more around 35 square meters. And I just started feeling the sound waves more with my body, you know. It's almost as if it picked up all the waves and it like made my body a part of the sound, instead of it just going like choo choo choo, you know, shooting over here and then into this window and that window and then out here and then all the way, you know, there's 11 meters from here to the back wall over here, you know. And that's difficult to control. So you could in theory just invent something that's a bit like, you know, combining these two boxes. I had a box here at a point. These are my speaker boxes. At a point I had them here, then I had one like over here, and the way that it tightened up the plastic and it got put underneath my chair, made me feel the music just a lot more, you know, made the music a lot more authentic and genuine. And here you can see it, you know. I also did it with other chairs. Wasn't quite as efficient, but it just made the sound a lot more relevant, interesting, and like, ooh, yeah, that's good. So these are, by the way, really good chairs. If you guys want a really good chair for listening to music, these are really good because they have this kind of as you can see here, this angle. So when you're lying in it, you kind of fall 10 centimeters, like a couple of inches down here. And there's this, when you reach that position, something happens where your head is a bit like being on a boat, where it's like, ooh, you know, or like a hammock. So you just relax a lot more when you enter that special position. So try and get a chair like this. I got this at a flea market. I can't remember what I paid, if it was like $20-50 used. But that's what I did. And so if you can like have a chair like this and integrate it the way that I did, so I had the plastic underneath the chair, and then in a previous experiment, I actually took the plastic all the way up to here where we can see my mouse, you know, temporarily here, and then I had the what was it? Then I had these here temporarily, you know, supporting it at the wall here and over here. And that made it a lot more interesting and dynamic. The sound. So this is just a video to inspire you guys to perhaps try this, just to see if it does any good. And it doesn't cost a lot, as you can see. So but yeah, it just gives you a hell of a lot more bass, and I think that a lot of people really want that bass, where they often are in a situation where basic is being sucked out and you get too much emphasis on the crappy treble and the lacking of quality in the mid-tone. So I felt like it was almost as if my speaker grew to, I don't know, two times the size, once I did this. So quite interesting. So I would say that, especially if you have some not top quality gear, you might want to consider doing this as a sort of a fix. You could also just, like what I did, get some plastic, wrap it around really, really tight around the chair, tight here, cover a bigger area, and then you're done, and every time you go in the room, just like remove it or whatever. Cost basically nothing. This is, by the way, my previous speaker, my Verity speaker. So interesting idea. Just wanted to share with you guys, because no one really covers this on the internet as far as I can see, and you've got all of these expensive products, bass traps and diffusers and walls. These things cost like crazy amount of dollars. If I had to just buy one half wall going like over here, perhaps covering 3/4 of this area here, that could cost me like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 just for that. It's just completely stupid. Yeah, my solution doesn't look nearly as good, but just kind of putting it out there, so you guys know that you can somehow create a sound without having to use a hell of a lot of money on just getting that bass that's perhaps 2.5 times better, and then just getting a more musical experience. Because even though I have one of the best speakers in the world here, filling a room up that's almost 50 square meters with a tiny bit of a asymmetrical wall. We've got the wall here, and then it's like in here, window over here, and then open over here, and then 11 meters from here to here. It's, even though I've got some of the best gear, it's damn difficult filling up that room so it stays in check, and the sound doesn't deflate. So even if I had a $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 speaker, it still would be pretty damn difficult filling up this room. So yeah, just a good tip for you guys to help you fill up the room and make the sound just a lot more pleasant. And you can be in this situation where you just have a normal room like this, and you just want to see what it does. If you just put some plastic here up against the wall here, and perhaps over here temporarily, just put some tape on it up here and down there and here. Perhaps it helps, perhaps it doesn't, but one of those free things that you can do. And yeah, I suggest getting the see-through plastic version. This is the green one, I think. Vapor barrier, that's what they're called. So get the see-through one, and you can always create some kind of a contraption that perhaps supports itself on the chair, whatever. Lots of room for exploring this idea. So that's me logging off. Like and subscribe if you can. Bye.